This story happened to me last year. It's the first time I can speak about it and has given me nightmares since then. I hope I can get some help just by talking about this. It happened at 3:30 in the morning. I woke up and was having trouble falling asleep again. I remember trying for about an hour, but I just couldn't. I got up and went downstairs to get a glass of water. When I reached the kitchen, I realized the back door was open. I was confused because I didn't remember leaving it unlocked. I tried remembering if I had opened it before going to bed, but I couldn't figure it out. So I just closed it and went back to bed. While I was trying to sleep, I felt different this time. I couldn't stop thinking about the back door being open. Could it be that someone has entered my house while I was sleeping? Was someone in my house all this time? I asked this question to myself over and over until something that made my skin crawl happened. I heard a noise coming from the dark corner of my room, between the closet and the wall. I turned on the light, and in the corner, there was a man looking at me. I was frozen, looking at him. He was old and had this crazy grin on his face. He was just looking at me. I will never forget that look. I managed to gather some courage and ran downstairs with my phone in hand. I called the cops. A few minutes later, they appeared and took him in. They told me he had been living in the attic for at least a few days. I moved out of that place and will never live in a home with an attic again. I live with my boyfriend in a small apartment. It's enough for us because we don't really have a lot of stuff and we just want to start our lives together. The apartment is in a small community where we practically know everyone. It's quiet and safe, or so we thought. The other night, we were on the couch watching a movie. It was around midnight when we started listening to someone knocking at the door. I looked at Sam, my boyfriend, and he looked surprised at me and asked if I was waiting for someone at this time, to which I replied, "Who receives guests at midnight?" Anyway, Sam went to the door and looked through the peephole, but there was no one there. He came back to the couch and tried to calm me down, saying that maybe it was nothing, or someone mistakenly knocked at our door. He didn't look sure of what he was saying, but I tried to forget about it and just continued watching the movie. Around 10 minutes later, it happened again. Someone knocked again. This time, me and Sam went to the door. He looked through the peephole. Someone was at the door, but not close. Sam could only see a silhouette of someone in the middle of the hallway. Sam asked who it was, but we got no answer. He told me to grab my phone and be prepared to call 911 just in case. He told me he was going to open the door to see who was there. Because the door has a security chain, I felt better, but I was still scared. Sam starts opening the door, and as soon as he does, the arm of a man passes between. It sounded like a man because he kept screaming at us to leave his house. We stood back and watched this happen. Meanwhile, I had already called the cops and they were on their way. But while we waited, the man did not stop for a second. I saw his eye in between the door while he was swinging his arm. Those were the eyes of a psycho. Who knows what he was going to do to us? Cops came and took him away. I couldn't sleep that night, and Sam and I considered leaving the house, but we put everything into this place, so we have no choice. I hope I never see that man again.